Okay, here's the best idea ever, protesters that are going out there tonight and whenever else. So there's these agitators that get in the way. They cause all kinds of violence, and then they give the other side or opponents an argument. Look at these violent people. We need martial law or whatever. And then nothing changes. We don't get the systemic changes that we want. Nothing happens, and more innocent people get hurt or killed. Both, actually. So here's what you do. Show up at these protests that you're going to with hog tying rope on you and duct tape. And then when there's the violent agitator that gets out of hand by causing violence, you gang up on him. You throw that fucker to the ground and you hog tie him, and then you just leave him there, duct tape his mouth, and you leave him there for the cops to pick up like the piece of garbage that they are later after the crowd disperses. And then do your meaningful protests. I support what you do. It's too important and too meaningful what you're doing and what you're protesting to let the once in a while violent agitators fuck everything up. So if this catches on, I think it's a great idea. I'd love for this to go viral. Or if somebody else has a better idea, then make that go viral. I don't care, something. So you show up at these protests, have hog tying rope on you, and when someone gets out of line with violence, you throw that motherfucker to the ground. If it takes 10 or 12 of you, whatever, you can dominate these people. You are the majority. So a dozen of you throws somebody to the ground that's out of line, and you hog tie that motherfucker, put duct tape over his mouth, and you just leave him sit there for the cops to collect later like the piece of garbage that they are. And then I think it's going to make it much more likely we'll finally get systemic change with the culture of policing, police brutality, how they're trained, all that stuff's diverting some of the resources to where they could be more useful, demilitarizing the police, all those things that we want that are just common sense. So I'll say it one more time because it's important. When you go to these protests, bring hog tying rope with you and duct tape. You outnumber them by a large margin. When somebody gets out of hand with violence, somebody picks up a brick, they're about to launch it, somebody has a gun, somebody starts punching people, whatever it is, someone's going to set fire to a car or a building, you gang up on him, 12 to 1 if that's what it takes. Throw that fucker to the ground, hog tie him, duct tape over his mouth, let the cops pick him up and collect these pieces of garbage later. Because what these guys are doing, some of them just want to see the world burn because that's how they get their rocks off. And others just see an opportunity to steal, and they don't give a damn about the cause. That's super important. But either way, they're victimizing people that are under the same thumb of the same power structure that they're supposedly pissed off to, and that makes no God-blessed sense to victimize those people that are just wanting to work hard with their small businesses and their individual properties to feed their families. It makes no sense to destroy these people's homes, their properties, throw bricks through their windows, whatever the case may be. So show up at these protests with hog tying rope. Be more proactive at taking these people out. Don't cause bodily harm. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you see someone about to be violent at these protests, you guys gang up on them with your hog tying rope, throw the fuckers to the ground, hog tie them, duct tape their mouth, and just leave them sit there for the police to collect later like the pieces of garbage that they are. And then let's do our important work, okay? So please, I want something like this to go viral that can actually make a difference. I don't care if it's my idea or somebody else's. If someone's got a better idea, just fucking do it. We need the systemic change, and these agitators need to get the fuck out of the way. They need to be forced. They're not going to go on their own. Okay? I love all of you. Be safe and be proactive. Mwah.